you ever wondered what it would be like to be some sort of executive or celebrity? Well, today, I feel like an executive or a celebrity because I'm wafting around in the new Audi A8. More specifically, it's the Audi A8 L, so it's the extended wheelbase version, so it is quite a big machine. The A8 is the best that Audi has to offer. It has pretty much everything you could ever need. And while I'm not going to be doing any of it today, the A8 has some autonomous driving technology that is pretty much at the forefront of everything that any car company is doing. And although you can't use it at the moment because it just isn't legal, there aren't the laws in place to allow fully autonomous driving, this car has the potential, and Audi has the potential and the technology to do things that no one else can do at the moment. There's even an app for this car, and on that app, you can press a button and tell the car to pull up outside your house in the morning. I would quite like that. Aside from the fact that this is much bigger than anything I would need, and that's mainly because I'm not an executive and I'm not a celebrity, I quite like the way it looks. Although, for the money, it's not the most exciting looking car, but I'll get onto the price in a little bit. The interior, however, is spectacular. There is everything you could ever need. Touch screens everywhere, everything is finished to a beautifully high standard. And if anything, the back is more impressive. That's where you've got the extra legroom because it's the extended wheelbase, and you've got screens back there. You can control the temperature, you can move your seats about, you can go on the internet, you can do all sorts. There's so much kit in this car, it is remarkable. Climbing from this into any other car, which I will have to do later, will just be a bit sad, really. Now, at the moment you can get two engines in the A8. You can get a 3-litre diesel or a 3-litre petrol. The petrol has 340 brake horsepower, the diesel has 289 brake horsepower. The diesel is what I'm in at the moment. 289 brake horsepower, 444 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 62 miles an hour in 5.9 seconds, and a top speed of 155 miles an hour. That's actually quite impressive considering the fact that this car weighs more than 2 tonnes. But there will also be a 4-litre V8 and a 6-litre W12. I'm quite looking forward to those. Everything about the way this engine performs though is just very effortless, it's very smooth, and because there is so much sound deadening in here and the windows are double glazed, you're just completely isolated from the world. And the suspension, well, it's air suspension and it is beautifully smooth. Granted, the roads I'm driving on today are pretty appalling surfaces really, so it might look a little bit bumpy, but honestly, it just absorbs bumps that you think the car's going to brake. The car will literally brake, but it just doesn't. We were driving over a rutted path earlier on to try and turn this car around to get some of the exterior shots, and it was a gravel path, lots of bumps, very uneven, and it just was the most relaxing drive on what looks to be a really uncomfortable surface I've ever had. It was just so smooth. What I was seeing out of the window didn't match up with what I was feeling behind the wheel. The steering is quite light, and you can feel, with small movements of the steering wheel, you can feel how heavy the car is really, but it doesn't need to be super sharp and it doesn't need to be super responsive. This is, after all, a long wheelbase A8. This is not meant to be hooned. And the price for all of this? Well, a basic A8 is £69,000. A long wheelbase one, that would be £72,000. This particular car is £108,000, of which £4,000 has been spent on the wheels and £6,500 has been spent on the stereo, as well as all sorts of other options that equate to nearly £40,000. Is it worth that money? I think it probably is. Given what this car is capable of, its breadth of abilities, yeah, I think it is. Although I think for the full A8L experience, I think I need to be sitting in the back.